Everybody, welcome to Tuesday edition of Box Seats. I almost forgot what day it was. Tuesday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. I'm here with the comedians known as Talent and Fig. These guys have been in comedy stuff, comedy films, comedy film festivals, comedy commercials, comedy everything. They've been around in comedy since comedy was comedy, since they figured out what the name comedy was. They've been around in comedy for a long time. Now they're in this thing we call the Box Seats, which is a sports comedy talk show. We talk a lot of stuff about sports. Gentlemen, how you doing today?
I'm good. What's up, Fig? What's poppin' with you, baby?
Good, man. Trying to make it happen, baby. It's Box Seats, baby.
All right, let's jump into the show. Let's jump into the show. First thing is the COVID report, something I didn't hear anywhere. I did not hear that there was 2 NCAA officials who had to leave the bubble because they had symptoms of COVID. I'm still waiting to see if I see it anywhere. Associated Press reported that this morning, that there's 2 NCAA officials who had to leave that. Meanwhile, we all know that they now have the games down to the final 16 and they are trying to sort this stuff out. So I'm going to throw this out to you, Talent, and say it's not beyond logic to say that there could be another team that could be kicked out, even though we're now down to the final 16 in the tournament because of COVID. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not logical to think that, bro. That's what we could be headed to that.
Yeah, that'll be messed up. The further down we get, and the further chances we get closer to that Final Four, that championship, it becomes detrimental. Even more so each time we get closer. So right now, Sweet 16, that's the first thing we talk about. Sweet 16, right. Elite 8, Final Four, chip. So right now, man, if it happened right now, Frank, man, I would feel 14.
Yeah, I feel absolutely horrible for a team myself, man. I can't even imagine that. Fig, what you think?
I think it would be horrible unless they're going against my man Juwan Howard's Michigan, baby, who won yesterday. That's what I'm talking about. Let all the teams get disqualified except for Michigan because Juwan Howard is the coach. That's what I'm trying to. No, I'm just playing. It would be a horrible thing, man. It's terrible, man. This whole COVID thing is horrible, and the NCAA is not spending enough money on this bubble because it is not the same bubble that the NBA had, because the NBA didn't have any COVID cases. So I don't know what the NCAA is trying to do, and they are slacking on their bubble construction.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's because the bubble's too big or the bubble. I don't know. I mean, I'm not there. It's hard for me to assume, but I don't know. But I want to throw this out there too. In women's basketball, there was a game. I don't know if you guys happened to see this game yesterday between Troy and Texas. Troy was ranked number 15. Texas A&M was ranked number 2. There was a game that was decided by a referee. To be honest with you, it was clear. I mean, if you saw what happened, it was a clear backcourt violation, and the game should have called that. It could have basically changed the outcome of the game. Texas A&M was about to be tied or could have lost that game if the referee had made the right call. Referee didn't make the call. Texas A&M survived. They were able to move on. It literally upset the entire nation of women's college basketball. So here we are again, where the referees are basically becoming, they're becoming an obstacle in these games, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm getting sick of it.
But here's my question. Can't we, because every year we're always implementing rules and regulations. Can't there somewhere be in those rules and regulations what the refs can and can't do? It's just like government. There's got to be a way that we can taper power when things come down to that. You know what I mean? I know they set up the off-site, if you will, place that the refs have to refer back to and phone calls be made. But I think if something comes down to that, nobody wants to see that. This is not boxing with 3 judges. This is a game that a lot of people are involved in and playing. So when the decision of who won comes down the wire, there has to be some limitations of power or some different regulations we could put in the bylaws, in the rules and regulations that supersede that. Forget the ref, man. Fuck it.
Maybe there could be something whereas, like in the NFL, you call New York or something like that. Maybe they should set up something like that. And then whereas it within the final 2 minutes of the game, and the refs make a call that the overseers should be the one called. I mean, then again, maybe it could be too much of a stretch. What you think, Fig? Because honestly, somebody got to do something. Where these refs are messing up these games. What you think?
I think so, man. I think there needs to be some oversight. I'm a little concerned with the word overseer. As an African American, I don't really cater to the overseer word. That's a word that hasn't done well for Black people as a whole. So I don't like that word. But something needs to be done because the refs cannot be the determining factor between wins and losses between the competitive sports and teams are involved missing or making questionable calls at best. It just cannot be put in the hands of the referees because at the end of the day, nobody comes to see the referees. Nobody's really interested in the referees. They're supposed to be like parents used to have their children back in the day, seen and not heard. We don't really want to know you there because you're not that important.
Bro, it's millions of dollars is involved when there needs to be something to be done or adjusted because it's millions of dollars, millions of people's lives are affected. It's not like it was back in the day when you had thousands of people. It's millions of people's lives, from TV contracts to merchandise, to sneaker contracts, to all kinds of stuff for people that win and versus people that lose. It's too much money. I mean, it's just my thought. Continue on, move on. I definitely want to, of course, acknowledge that one of the Lakers legends, Elgin Baylor, passed away at 86. He passed away of course, causes like that. Before we continue on with the show, I just want to give you guys the last word on Elgin Baylor and what his effect was on the NBA as we see it today. Talent, floor is yours.
Well, I'm going to say this, man. Anytime the greats come up, whether it's us mourning them and their passing or just mentioning the accolades and the levels of play that they set, put it this way. Elgin Baylor is one of those elite guys, one of those historic guys in this game that helps cement the reasoning behind keeping these stats. He's one of those players. You know, these guys set the stats up. I feel that if you take these guys out of there, or their impact wasn't what it was, we wouldn't be sitting here like, oh my God, so-and-so is now 9th on the list of this. So-and-so just had the most rebounds of this, the most assists of that. He's one of those guys. He's a stat creator that we now measure everybody up against. You know what I mean? Those guys need to always be upheld high as the elite and the greatest of all time, because everybody now, after those guys, they're trying to measure up to those guys. So Elgin Baylor is one of the top cream of the crop guys, and definitely, we praise his standards that he set, and we praise his accolades, man, that they to this day compete against.
Yeah, I like what you said, Talent. You said stat creator. That's exactly what he is. Exactly what he was. Fig, the Laker legend, Elgin Baylor, passed away. What's your thoughts on him, man?
Man, it's kind of crazy, man. Elgin Baylor is a Laker legend, yet he was the GM of the Clippers for a lot of years, man. And as far as his talent is concerned, man, this is a man who dropped 60 in an NBA Finals, 70 in a regular season game. I mean, he was Julius, Jordan, Kobe before those guys even came along, man. Went up against the great teams like, your favorite team, Frank, the Celtics, back in the day when the Celtics and the Lakers were both iconic Storybrooke franchises and still are till this day. He is just a man who did it on and off the court, and he reminds me of what people say about Dr. J, Julius Erving. He was class personified, and for a lot of years, and probably went through a lot because of the era that he played in. And my condolences. And everything goes out to his remaining family, his children, his wife, and those that survived him and that love what it is that he did.
All right, we got to move on. Honestly, y'all, I'm really sick and tired of talking about this case and this situation because it's happening. Something's happening every day. It's Deshaun Watson. This morning, Deshaun Watson had another case filed against him. He was called a serial predator in the new course that was filed last night that came up this morning. Lawsuit number 14. And this lawsuit is a sexual assault and inappropriate conduct when he was noticed as touching this lady with his penis while he was getting a massage, however you want to look at it. It's still a civil lawsuit. The Houston, Texas organization is still sitting back, not saying anything, but the Houston department the Houston Police Department is wondering why. They literally said this morning they're wondering why no charges have been moved, and they haven't seen anything. So, Talent, I'm gonna throw this out there, and I'm gonna ask you, bro. Do you honestly think that everything is still above board, or do you think that he literally could? I mean, not that he's actually going to go to jail in inappropriate conduct. I don't think that'll ever happen. But there will be some charges. It looks like he's heading down the path of some charges being filed against him officially, which would take some teams out of the running, especially like the Patriots and maybe the Bears and a couple of other organizations that do not want to touch a player under criminal investigation. What do you think, Tom?
I agree. That's what it's all about. And that's the underlying message here. Either you're staying put or you're going to be even more unhappy where you're going to end up. To me, we're here a week, Tuesday, a week later from being threatened with the other 6 girls. And still, there's not any charges filed. For this to be a sexual assault, like assault is a charge in itself. So for it to be a sexual assault and we're still waiting on charges to be filed, that's negotiating behind the scene all day, bro. You're not pulling no wool over my eyes, because in the real world, anytime there's a crime, there's a charge. And if there's a delay of a charge, it's for a reason.
Right. Yeah. Tal, the reason is money, because at the end of the day, it's all civil case. It's nothing criminal to be charged. It's been 7 days since this happened, and it's all about money to me. Fig, what you think?
I'd like to say in the illustrious words of Jaman Hatsu in Amistad, give us free. That's what I want to say. Give us free. Let the man go. Slaves were not supposed to get off the plantation, and that's exactly what they do to Deshaun Watson. It was like, nah, man, we not letting you go. We're going to put all these charges on you. We're going to hold you. We're going to sully your name. We're going to make it difficult for you because we not letting you go. We don't want you to go. We're talking about he touched a woman with his penis. How long is this penis that we talking about? Can she describe the penis? Is what I want to know. What does it look like? If you've seen it, what does it look like? And how did he touch you with it? Where were you standing? And where were and where was he when he touched you with his penis? You giving him a massage. How close were you to this penis?
Wait, whoa.
And how did you touch him? That's what I would know. How did he touch you?
First of all,
you know what I mean? Were you standing over here? Where were you standing when he just took it out and just started touching you? Man. You know what I mean? Like, is it me, or do you want to know way too much information? That just don't make sense to me, man. She's giving you a massage, and then she says, "Oh, he touched me with his penis." Like, how did that happen? Did he get up and put it on you? Was he still laying down? Like, where were you in proximity that he was able to do this to you if you didn't want it to happen? That's what I want to know. How did you make this happen? Like, what? How is that even possible? That's what I mean.
I feel violated just knowing all the things that you want to know.
I'm talking about. I'm speaking. I'm speaking as his attorney and as a possible judge. I want to know. I want this woman to explain how this happened. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking as his. How did this happen, Miss? Like, how was he able to do that? You just giving the man himself. How was this able to happen?
You know what?
It's not unbelievable. Is basically what I'm saying.
To me, I think the question should be, in my opinion, is: have you two ever had sexual relationships after or before this incident? Have you had sex? Like, if we talk about this, since you do this stuff and all this stuff, have you had sex? Was he making a sex move? Because it seems like you all had sex before. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, and it seems like he had sex with all these women to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is. And let me tell you something else, man. Here, this just in. One lady claims that he took his pants down, his penis came out, hit the floor, and rolled across the room, and that's how she was touched with it.
Oh my goodness! You know, I hate talking about this. This is the reason why I hate talking about this, is because it seems like I'm gonna ask you all this seriously, man. I'm gonna start with you, Challenge. I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think he's going to get criminal charges filed against him? I mean, because it still hasn't happened. Do you think, or do you think they just dangle it in front of him? Talent.
No, I think it's all bait and switch. I think it's all bait and switch, bro. I don't think there's no charges coming myself. I think this is all about the scare tactic, get you to make the decision, the one they want, first of all. They want him to stay. And I think at the end of the day, he's going to cut a deal or be forced to delegate to another year in Houston, at least, if not two. And I just think it's a dangle. It's bait and switch, brother. It's called the bait and switch. You know what I mean? We've all seen this 100 times with more than just athletes. People go through this in their regular jobs every day in corporate America. It's the bait and switch. Oh, we got this, man. If you don't do that, this gonna happen. But if you hang in there, I think I know some people. We could probably get this. That's all it is, man. Bait and switch. No charges.
Fig, do you think there's gonna be some criminal charges filed against him?
It really all depends on his response and how he and how he goes back, with them. Because to be quite honest with you, there's probably some kind of deal in place for him to take to give up some money, and then this all goes away. Because I think there was something very similar in the case of Mike Vick. He was supposed to do something and basically bow down and acquiesce to whatever their demands were, and that whole dogfighting thing was supposed to go away, and he didn't show up at some event or something like that, and then they put the charges through, and he ended up doing a little time. It's probably something very similar to that, because they have to have you on bended knee, because that's the key. They want you to bow down. They want you on bended knee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Let's move on. Let's continue on. Let's move this thing on. I had a Pelican brief a little while ago about Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? And I was talking to you guys about what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. And then I said, when everything was coming together and Aaron Rodgers got to the NFC Championship, I was like, it might not be so likely, because I think Aaron Rodgers will definitely restructure his contract and they'll be moving forward. Well, yesterday was the day he was supposed to restructure his contract. He did not. Aaron Rodgers is now. He got his $6.8 million, the roster bonus he was supposed to get. He got it yesterday. He has a $14.8 million base salary he's supposed to get, and it's supposed to go up considerably for 2022 and 2023. So my thing is this: either Aaron Rodgers does not care about the future with the Green Bay Packers, or he's going to get traded, or he's going to retire. I just don't see him in the future of the Green Bay Packers after this year, this upcoming season, because in 2022-2023 season, his contract escalates really, really high. So Green Bay's going to cut him. He's going to retire, but if he retires, he gets a lot more money than if they cut him. You know what I mean? So to me, him and Green Bay, this looks like his last season. Talent, what you think? You hear this facts.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought he was leaving with your last Pelican brief. I was with you on that. I just don't see him as I mean. Let's think back to the Aaron Rodgers we know. This Aaron Rodgers is totally different. We've seen him in the playoffs, not looking as happy. I'm used to Aaron Rodgers that's happy where he's at, playing at that happy level. He's an at-will quarterback. You know what I mean? So he wills things to happen. He's got all the skills a quarterback could ever need. And he always plays the game with this real joyfulness. And for some reason, when they got into the playoffs this past year, I didn't see that in him. I seen that real do-or-die pressure on my teammates, different Aaron Rodgers. So that's what made me very, in the belief form of what you were saying with the original Pelican brief, that, if he loses and doesn't get the chip, he's out of there. So I was with you then, and I'm with you now. I think it's not far-fetched to believe or see him somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say this for the record. I think this is his last season there. With the amount of money he about to make and everything lining up, Tyler was right. The last game we saw him, he was very unhappy with the coach. He was very unhappy with the team. He was just very unhappy overall. I just don't see him being in the, after the season. I don't see it. I mean, but tell me if I'm wrong, Tommy. What you think?
I don't think you're wrong at all. Here's the thing. So, I was listening to something today, and the question came out like, all right, if I renegotiate and free up X amount of dollars, what are you doing with the dollars that I free up? I mean, if you're not going to get me the complementary weapons to help me win, when I free up these dollars, then why am I freeing up money? I just might as well leave things just like they are. And I believe that's what Aaron did. I mean, look, you could have got him receivers, running backs. You could have got him a whole lot of things to help him win. And what did you do? You drafted his replacement. So why would I renegotiate a deal to give you back money or to restructure my contract where I'm not getting the most money absolutely possible that I could get, so that you could go and do what with it? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's almost like, man, I'm not giving no, listen, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm not giving no discount double check to somebody that ain't doing something with my money. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we know what that also says, because you're right. We know what that also says. It also says that Aaron Rodgers does not trust the Green Bay Packers management. He doesn't trust the ownership. He don't trust the management. He's not happy with what the decisions they're making. He'd rather see them do and then he do. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to go on faith. I mean, that's just what it says to me.
I think he's done that before. Look, it doesn't seem like he's all the way happy with the coach. I mean, the coach, look, with the game on the line, the coach took the ball out of his hands. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, arguably top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and the game is on the line, and you took the ball out of his hands. I mean, you didn't even let him go out on his own. You know what I mean? I mean, you're Aaron freaking Rodgers. Who else on that team is better capable of helping you make a play or win other than Aaron Rodgers? And on that play, you take the ball out of his hand and you go for a field goal?
Yeah, man.
Come on, man.
You have one of the best running backs in the league. You have one of the best wide receivers in the league, and then you say, you know what? Let's go for a field goal. You said, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, that's, the facts, they're there. The facts are there. I don't know. All right, let me throw this next story out there. All right, let me throw this next story out there. I'm gonna start with you, Talent. Next story is Josh Gordon is supposedly making a comeback to the NFL. Josh Gordon said to a podcast yesterday, he said that there's no quitting me. He wants to play, see if he can get back in the NFL this upcoming season. Right now, he's playing for that fan control league that's about to merge with the XFL. He said he doesn't care if he comes back. He's going to file another case with the NFL to see if he can play again. And he's going to also see if anything can happen for him to play in the next season or two. But he also said that if that doesn't happen, he will definitely try to go for coaching. Talent, do you see Josh Gordon in the NFL in any capacity ever again? Now, mind you, he did say he's clean. He said he's cleaner than he's ever been in a long time. He did say he's clean. So what you say? What you think, man?
Well, yeah, I mean, I do see him in the like coaching or something like that. I can see that. You know what I mean? I can see that. This guy, as he pulls up with a motorcycle, right as I'm talking. I can see him getting into it behind the administrative side. I don't know if they're going to let him back in as a player. I really can't see that. But stranger things have happened. But coaching and starting off as assistant coach and stuff like that, I can see it.
Okay, well, let me say this for Fig. I think Talent could be on to something, because this would be Josh Gordon's 6th or 7th. I think it would be 7th time if he got reinstated by the NFL. His 7th. I don't see it happening either. But Fig, do you think Josh Gordon can come back and be a wide receiver in the NFL for some team?
He still has the talent. I think he still has the talent to be able to play. I mean, they just, they keep checking the man for drugs and stuff like that. And he's like, listen, he has a serious issue. He lost millions of dollars because of a drug issue. And, he says he's clean. Me too. I took a shower today. I'm clean. So what kind of clean are we talking about? Exactly. I don't know where they're going to let him in. 7 times, 8, 9, 10. Look, I think he has the ability to play if somebody's willing to give him a chance. It depends on how desperate the team is on getting a receiver and if they think that he can help them win. If they think that you can help them win and there's no video on you that's damaging, the NFL will find a way to get you back in there, man. Listen, they don't care. You can murder somebody, man, and play football.
I don't know about that one, but okay.
Yeah. You don't think there's somebody that had homicide charges against him playing football?
I think the person they did have, he's jailed. He killed himself.
Hey, Fig, you're talking about a touchy subject. You're talking about a touchy subject. Leave him alone. You okay, Frank? Leave him alone, Fig.
I'll be all right.
Okay.
I'll be all right. I was like, that's not true. That's not true.
I wasn't talking about him though. There was somebody else that I think it was a homicide or something like that. You know what I mean? And he ended up playing.
Ray Lewis.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that wasn't. Who cares about Ray Lewis? I don't like Ray Lewis.
Did he beat the Patriots? Is that what it is? He beat the Patriots.
Can we talk about something else? Can we talk about something else? Can we talk about something else? Let's talk about something else. All right, here's what I want to talk about. The New York Jets, Robert Saleh, he's building his defense from inside out. He signed, the Jets literally signed Carl Lawson and Sheldon Rankins, two of the best free agent defensive linemen out this season. He signed them. So are the Jets going to be happy with where they at on the offensive side of the ball, or are they going to keep building out the defense? And are they going to trade Sam Darnold? Talent, what you think?
No, we keep Sam. I think we got a lot of draft picks. I think we start giving Sam maybe one or two more pieces. He doesn't need much. He just needs execution. They put some pieces in the last 2 years in order. So they were decent. They just couldn't compete on both sides of the ball in the same game. That was the Jets' problem the past season. You'll watch the Jets game, and they'll have a great defensive game and bad offense, and then the next game they'll be the offensive be clicking, and the defense give up too many points. So I think coming in, what they're trying to do is balance it out. I think we rock with Sam Darnold. I'm good with that. We just give him a piece or two.
I think that they should definitely do something on the defensive side of the ball too, because at the end of the day, if you draft a QB who you don't know nothing about and get rid of the QB that you do know something about, you're gonna have some problems. That's what I think. Fig, what you think?
Man, it's really up in the air what the Jets organization is going to do. I mean, they got the number 2 pick, man, and they can really do something. I think they're going to go out and draft a quarterback, which is going to create controversy, and then leave another position open that could possibly help the quarterback that you already have win. Now, Sam Darnold played at a decent level, running for his life most of the time since he's been on the team. He had mono, kept him out for a while. Last year was pretty messed up. I think the young man has talent, and I think if you build around a quarterback with talent, I think you can win. That's my philosophy. If you have a decent quarterback that's not a bum, a decent quarterback, you build around him. You give him a nice offensive line to give him a few seconds to throw the ball where he don't have to run for his life. Give him some weapons to throw the ball to. Give him a decent running game, a good defense, and you can win. Another team sort of brings to mind that did something very similar to that. I think it was the Patriots. They built around Tom Brady, and all of a sudden, he was able to win several Super Bowls. I like that philosophy.
Actually, I could say this. The Patriots built on their defense first. They built their whole defensive side of the ball, and Tom Brady fell into their lap because they had Drew Bledsoe. They like, you know what I mean? They built on that. They had a whole lot of pieces on the offense, and then they were like, okay, well, Drew Bledsoe was okay. You know what I mean? He was an okay quarterback. But Tom Brady, as we all know, was one of the luckiest finds.
Yeah, he was lucky. Tom Brady was the Manu Ginobili of the NFL. Nobody was expecting that. He was backing up Drew Bledsoe. He goes down. He goes in. Boom. The rest is history. He was. We've seen this all the time. This is everybody's career in every sport. You know what I mean? This is Doug Christie in the NBA. Like these guys, Charlie Ward. These guys that nobody's expecting to make a career out of it. And not only they make a career, they just luck up. And Belichick and those guys never look back. They never look back with putting those pieces together and keeping the surroundings right.
Yeah, and the Hall of Fame thing. Now, for the Jets, I will say this. It seems like the Jets are taking that same philosophy because this guy, this Saleh guy, he is doing the same thing. He's building that San Francisco-style high-powered offense. He's building that San Francisco-style high-powered defense. He's building from the defense and then building his way to the offense because right now he's stacking the defense. I'm pretty sure, and I hate the Jets, but I'm pretty sure the Jets are going to have one of the best defenses in the league because of the stuff they're doing now.
I love it, man. I'm like, listen, give a quick. You got a quarterback that's in a couple years. Give him a chance to grow into his shoes, for God's sakes. Quarterback is the most important position in the NFL, but it's also the hardest position to play in the NFL because you need to know what everybody is doing. Everybody on your side, and you need to be able to read the defense, everybody else's defense, and what it is they're trying to do to you, and prevent you from doing. So it's the toughest position in the NFL. And if you get a guy who's decent, build around him, give him a year or two to grow into his cleats and see what you have. If every year or so you're looking for the next guy, you're never going to have anything. And every time you draft a quarterback, that's another piece that you don't have to solidify either the offense or the defense.
Which one is that?
That's the quarterback position. You know, it's like porn, man. When you jump into porn, the business, they want you to perform right away, bro. You know, I know everybody know that I'm an ex-porn star. Like when you jump into porn, you don't get 2 years to perform, to be that guy. You got to come right in there. You know, you got picked for a reason at this top position.
You got to come right in there.
I got to go.
Hey, you got to come right in there with the wood. You ain't no cardboard, you know. Ain't no tissue and nothing like that. You need wood immediately.
Remember that quarterback porn stars.
You know what I'm saying about? Hey, John. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about porn.
No,
only the women get to be stars. Men, not so much.
Hey, Frank, you got to admit that's a great name for a reality show. You got pit bulls and parolees, quarterbacks and porn stars. You gotta admit.
What do you call these analogies? I just don't know how you came up with the porn star. It's like, yeah, you know, talk about football, yeah, you know, and it's like porn. How is football like porn?
Because when you're trying to make your point, my point being is, there's certain positions in sports that people expect you to perform right away. You know, a perfect example is like, let's say we're talking NBA. For whatever reason, if you're in those top 3 picks out of the NBA draft, people expect you to be a star in the league. If you come top 3 picks out of the NBA draft, like Zion couldn't just come to the league and chill for 2 years. The expectation level was, this is the guy. He has to be the next guy. It happened with Patrick Ewing and Jordan. It happened with the Sam Bowies. It happened with the Ralph Sampson. It's always been like that. So quarterback is the equivalent to that in the NFL. That's that position that once they start chatting about you and you go somewhere, they expect you to produce right away.
But it's also
except John, you're right, but except where you're picked. If your quarterback's in the first round, they expect him to be good. If he picks second and third round, then you know it's sort of different.
It's also the same position, whereas that it has also the most disappointments too. Like, I mean, you got, you know, it's the only sport too. You get a whole bunch of everybody think you're the best thing since sliced bread, and then you come in and you can turn out to be Ryan Leaf. You know what I mean? And we saw how bad Ryan Leaf was. He was horrible.
Man, they're already talking about Tua not being so great. I'm like, damn. He's not great. He played a half a season. Half a season. Coming off a major injury.
Yeah, but it's not as bad right now. In the time frame that Ryan Leaf had and versus Tua, it's not even close. Ryan Leaf had, in half a season, hell, in 2 games, they knew he was horrible. When he got in, it was live fire. He was like, oh, his eyes got big as silver dollars. He couldn't complete a pass. He didn't run. He couldn't do nothing. I think he was cut after 3 games. But I'll check into that. Anyway, let's move this thing on. I want to talk about the NBA because we got some things we got to talk about. The biggest news to me in the NBA that happened last night is that the Rockets snapped their losing streak. Now, my thing is, when the Rockets snapped their losing streak, right, and they beat the Toronto Raptors, to me, and I'm going to throw this out there to you guys, to me, it sent a lot of messages to me that reverberates in the NBA because the draft, I mean, the trade deadline is 2 days away. Now, is this because Kyle Lowry is about to be traded? Is it because there's more pressure now on Houston? I mean, it's just so much things going on. And around this time in the league, every single year, some team beats a team that wasn't supposed to win. You know what I mean? It just happened. So did Kyle Lowry quit on the Raptors because he knew he's getting ready to walk out the door? Did Houston legitimately win the game? I mean, a whole bunch of things. What's your thoughts when you hear they snapped a 20-game losing streak last night against Toronto? What you think, Ken?
Well, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world that the effort from Kyle Lowry is kind of diminished. He probably show up and play, but he's not going above and beyond in that moment because who knows, in the next 48 hours, 72 hours, I'm in a different jersey anyway. You know what I mean? I'm gone. But I think, my personal opinion, that it was a bona fide win. I think it was bound to happen. The worst team in the world is going to get a win eventually. This is just NBA at its best. We keep forgetting, no matter how bad your record is, these are grown-ass men who are professional athletes still. At the end of the day, they go through the same training and medical staff issues and things that every other team does. So what they say in football, any given Sunday or any given day of the week in the NBA, it could happen. I think it was bona fide.
Okay. All right. Fig, what do you think?
Yeah, man, it's like Talon said. I mean, if I don't care what your record is, if you're not putting in the effort, the team on the other side has the weapons to be able to beat you. You know what I mean? If you overlook them, or you looking forward to the next game, or you looking to the fact that you're going to be traded and you're not going to be there or whatever, and you don't give 100% effort every single night, wherever team is on the other side of that floor in the other uniform, they definitely have the capability to be able to knock you off. Because like Talon said, those are professional basketball players and they have a lot of pride and they want to win. And if you're not giving it your all, you could be knocked off.
Okay, so neither one of you guys are going to sign off that Kyle Lowry quit on them because he's probably upset that. Let me say my mini Pelican brief. My mini Pelican brief. It's not a big one. My mini Pelican brief is I'm literally thinking that Kyle Lowry wants to go to the Sixers, right? I think there's trade talks behind the scenes that he's unhappy with where the team is trying to trade him to, and I don't know who that team is. But I think his mind is set on he really wants to play on Philly. And to me, it didn't. I watched a lot of the clips of the game. It seemed like he didn't play like the regular Kyle Lowry normally could. He was sloppy with the ball. He was, sloppy on defense. He just didn't play like he normally plays. So I was like, oh, this dude's about to get traded, and he ain't happy with where he's going. That's what I took from him. Talon, you agree or disagree?
I don't think so. I think that I don't see him as quitting on the team, even if that's the case, Frank. Even if your brief is right, that behind the scenes they're about to send him somewhere that he's not a preference to. I still don't see him quitting in a game like that, especially when the league has its hands around the neck of Houston with the 20 in a row loss. I don't see him coming in there like, you know what, I'm gonna let them break their streak. I'm not playing, blah blah blah. I really think it was a bona fide win. I think that you're talking Toronto to the Sixers. Toronto is already on the verge of a rebuild. You know what I mean? I think they're, even if not a full rebuild, a semi-rebuild. So I don't think that they're going to sabotage, him going to the Sixers. I really can't see that. I just think that, they really, really beat them. I don't think it's a Kyle Lowry, I'm going somewhere I don't want to go. I don't really believe that.
I don't know if I don't mean necessarily sabotage. I just think that he's not happy with the talks. That's what I'm just thinking. I mean, because we all know that around this last 48-hour window between now and the trade window, they go, okay, well, you know what? I'll say, maybe go, but maybe, I think that's what's happening. And I think he's privy to that because he's one of the leaders of the team. I think he's privy to the conversations and he might not want to go to the Warriors because right now the talk is that he might land on the Warriors. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to go to Golden State. He does not want to go he doesn't want to go from Toronto to Golden State and the West Coast. He wants to go from Toronto to Philly. That's where he wants to go. Fig, what you think?
What happened was the Philadelphia organization 76ers, they man, I don't know how to say this, man. They've been on the record. They've been sending Philly cheesesteaks to Kyle Lowry to convince him to come to Philadelphia. And there's no cheesesteaks in Golden State. So Kyle Lowry is hooked on. As a matter of fact, if you look at him, you can tell he's been eating the cheesesteaks that they've been sending to him because he put on a pound or two. He's a short dude, and he looks a little rounder than he was before they started sending him the cheesesteaks. And he's been sitting up in his hotel room on quarantine, and he's been eating them. And he was like, "Yo, I want to go to Philly so I can buy my own cheesesteaks."
Okay, so that's what you think. All right, let me throw this one out there too. Let me throw this one out there to you. The Clippers had a comeback last night, right? They had a major
comeback.
The Clippers had a major comeback last night against the Hawks, but the Clippers looked like they were in trouble. And there has been talks. I've read on a couple of boards that there's been some talks that Kawhi is not happy at all with the way that the Clippers are being put together. Stephen A. came out with a dissertation this morning, and I mean a dissertation. He went on and on and on and on about the Kawhi Leonard not fitting well with the Clippers. I'm gonna ask you, Talent. Do you think Kawhi Leonard is the problem with the Clippers and doesn't fit well with the team, the way they're constructed now, the way he plays, or do you think it's the complete utter opposite?
I think it's the opposite. You can't say he don't fit well. It's his team. Mm-hmm. If I go to a team and start building around me, he's gonna say I don't fit. It's mine. It's my team. I came here and started this. I asked you to get him. He. You know how we do in the playground. And people picking. I got him. Okay, I got him. He did that. He picked his team. So it's not about me not fitting. It's about the people I put together and teamed up with the people that's been here already, with the GM's picks, not doing what I need them to do. Mm-hmm. You can't put it on the guy. The guy is, he would have to really go in there and stink everything up. He's not stinking everything up. They're just not cohesive units. They're going out there and they're struggling at times. And he feels like, yo, man, we shouldn't be struggling. Yeah. So don't put it on the guy, put it on the group. It's not moving in a cohesive unit form of fashion.
So you're saying it's more like along the lines of the coach, not Kawhi at all. So
you can never blame the dude, man, who it belongs to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go adopt a dog, it ain't about the Talent's not a good dog. It's my house. Get that dog out of here.
You know what? I've never heard an NBA analogy with a dog. Never. Never, ever.
When I take that dog back, I'm telling them the dog has a problem. This dog, something wrong with the dog. He don't like to go back from outside. He like to go back from inside, or he chews up. Okay, this my. When you come in my house, you got to maneuver around my rules and regulations. And the problem ain't me. This my house.
Right. Okay. So, Fig, you agree or disagree?
Hey, listen, I don't think it's Kawhi's fault at all. And like Kawhi said, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I've been putting this down ever since I was in San Antonio. Now, he wasn't always the guy. You know what I mean? He's the guy now. He was the guy in Toronto. He was getting to be the guy in San Antonio. That was his, trajectory. That's what we were going to make him. He was going to be the guy in San Antonio. But here's the thing that I heard, and we alluded to this very early in the season about what the Clippers actually needed to be able to be formidable. They needed that floor general, because we talked about it ad nauseum, is that Kawhi was never a vocal leader. He was never that dude on the floor general. I mean, he was a great player, defense, offense, all that stuff like that, could get it done, could lock down your best player, not really lock him down, but play the best defense on the best player from the other team. He just needs the floor general. In San Antonio, he had Tony Parker, he had Manu Ginobili. When he was up in Toronto, he had Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. Now he's in LA with the Clippers. Where's that guy? Where is the Tony Parker and where is the Kyle Lowry or the VanVleet? Where is the floor general point guard to set everything up and just let Kawhi be Kawhi? They don't have it in LA. And I think in the beginning of the year, we said they would look better if they got a Kyle Lowry or possibly a Rajon Rondo. He would be great on the Clippers, because that's the kind of dude that Kawhi needs to thrive. And they don't have that on the Clippers. And it's showing, because they still need that guy.
It's funny you say that, because if the Clippers need a point general, and Kyle Lowry wants out of Toronto. If I'm the Clippers, I'm calling them, even though he don't want to come. I'm saying, yo, you play with Kawhi, you come over here and play with him. You know, that's what I'm doing if I'm the Clippers. But you know, I don't know.
But remember when Kawhi left there, it didn't seem like they had the best bromance.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's definitely true. Can't dispute that. But at the end of the day, Kyle Lowry is a floor general. If Kyle Lowry goes to the Sixers right now, the Sixers are already here. If he goes to the Sixers and he lands in the Sixers, they will be, to me, the only team in the East that will be possibly able to beat the Nets. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Nets. I still think the Nets are a formidable team, but if they beat the Nets, it wouldn't be shocking. It wouldn't be shocking.
No, not at all. And Frank, to add on, if Kyle Lowry goes to LA with the Clippers, he's probably going to eat different. He probably won't eat as many cheesesteaks, and he's probably going to eat a lot different because, you know, they eat different in LA. It's a lot of healthy food, a lot of salads, tofu, vegetarian. He's going to eat different. He's going to lose those pounds, and he's going to play a lot better if he goes to Los Angeles.
Well, that's the new James Harden. He started that. So I bet you he called Kyle Lowry and said, yo, I'll tell you what you do. Plump up a little bit. Go out on the layup line. They can't wait to get rid of you.
Well, that's true. You gain some weight, but listen, look at this Negro here. All right, let me ask you all this about Orlando, because in Orlando, Aaron Gordon, they're getting ready to do a roster reset in Orlando. Aaron Gordon is probably going to be gone in the next 24, 48 hours. There's a lot of talk of him, you know, landing in 4 or 5 places. Do you think Orlando talent should do a roster reset, or should they build around him and then start building their team? You know what I mean? Or just see if they can
roster reset. I think you do a roster reset. If I'm Orlando, I mean, come on, man. You see Orlando, bro. Orlando, just do a roster reset. They're in a great position to do that. In 2-3 years, they could be right back at that contender. That's the good thing about the new NBA. The good thing about the new NBA, the old NBA, it took a long time to rebuild. Mm-hmm. You know, it took you half a decade at least. Like if you started now, it'd be like 5 years before you were, you know, competing. Now the new NBA, 2 seasons, you could be back in the loop. So I think Orlando's right there. Rebuild, reset.
Okay, so not rebuild around Aaron Gordon. You let him ship him out and start all over again. All right, Fig, what you think?
Yeah, man, like Talon said, man, Aaron Gordon has been there a while, man. You know what I mean? Let the man go, man. You're gonna rebuild he's a veteran now. I think he's been in the league, maybe somewhere about 5 to 7 years now, man. He's got his NBA legs up under him. I mean, he's ready to, you know, contend or be in contention in the playoffs and stuff like that. And Orlando don't seem like they're doing nothing. And if you're gonna rebuild, why make him sit and suffer? Which he's already been, because Orlando hasn't been relevant. Nobody's talking about Orlando to do nothing at any time. In the past, in the very, you know, recent past or the near future.
Ain't nobody talking about Orlando. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody talking about Orlando.
Ain't nobody talking. Yeah, you know, Orlando's so bad. Mickey Mouse don't even go to the games no more. You know, Mickey Mouse. Mickey and Minnie used to sit courtside.
Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad in Orlando. I don't know if I agree with y'all. I mean, I know he might be disgruntled. He might be disgruntled, but if I'm an NBA franchise, I gotta have somebody who people are paying to come see. I would be real hesitant and let my star player go unless he wanted to be out. That's just my thought process. I probably want to build around him and say, listen, I said, Aaron, man, we could get some trades, we could do some things happening. We could be something in about 2-3 years if you're willing to stick it out. But these guys, they all want to join super teams.
No, he just wants an opportunity to showcase, man, to show off what he can do. Orlando not even making TV games. They don't even have no TV. Nobody's watching Orlando. They don't even make no TV games because they're not doing nothing. Nobody. Listen, Aaron Gordon is probably one of the most underrated players because nobody ever gets a chance to see him play.
Go ahead, and it's really bad out there, Frank. I don't think you know how bad it is out there. It got bad right before COVID. If you went to Disney World, you got free tickets to Orlando Magic games. You know what I mean? All you got to do is go ride the teacup. the teacup with your daughter, and you got 2 tickets to go see Orlando Magic play. This was bad like that, bro. I think they let Goofy coach for 2 months. Goofy right before COVID, like January and February. Goofy was the interim coach of the Orlando Magic. That's how bad it is.
That's absolutely terrible. I just want to throw it out there. That's absolutely terrible that you would say that.
If you think that's terrible, you ought to see Minnie Mouse's dress after she hang out with Mickey and Goofy.
Let me ask you all this, man. So if you're the Denver Nuggets, right, should you do something with your roster, or should you keep it as is? Because Denver Nuggets are now supposed to be going after Lonzo Ball. But, we'll see. There are teams right now that I think that are in the playoff hunt that have to do something before the trade deadline to get a better push if you want to be formidable against the powerful teams right now. Is Denver Nuggets one of them, Talent?
I don't think so. I wouldn't do that. I think, come on, man, we just coming off of a brilliant performance of a year last season. All they need to do is keep playing and getting tighter and tighter as a unit. Cohesiveness is everything with winning, man. They did the damn thing last year. What are you trying to shake up? Like, what are you looking for? Because it just came down to the wire. It wasn't like anybody blew them out of the gym or they couldn't compete. They gave everybody competition. I wouldn't touch it. All
right, Fig, last 60 seconds.
Yo, man, I think Denver Nuggets should stand pat. They lose a couple games here and there, but let me just tell you this. When they get to the playoffs, you're not going to want to see Denver because they got a team. You know what I mean? They got a team on both sides of the ball. They can play inside, outside. They got a great offense, and they play defense. That's not an easy out. And I don't know which player that's available could take them over the top. You know what I mean? That would make them that much better.
I'm going to give each one of you all 30 seconds. I'm going to ask you this. Which team do you do before the trade deadline do you think is going to make a major blockbuster trade? Which team? You got some big teams that's out there in the cuffs. Which team do you think is going to do something before Thursday? Talent, who do you think?
Well, I think as of recent, I think the Lakers become more and more obvious of a team. I think given the Pelican brief and the news we talked about with the Clippers, probably them. And definitely on the East Coast, definitely the Sixers and the Knicks. East Coast.
Go ahead, Big.
Man, he took the words right out of my mouth. I would like to add, other than the Lakers on the West Coast, I think the Clippers need that floor general if they could possibly get a hold of one to take them over the top. With the injuries to LeBron and AD, the Lakers definitely need a move. On the East Coast, probably to solidify their position, the Sixers need somebody, and I think, like Talon said, I think the Knicks will grab somebody so they can make a stronger push for the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I think out of everybody we talked about, I think the Sixers are probably the one that's the most detrimental, have their back against the wall, because I think they're looking at Brooklyn, and they need to do something right now because they know that they're formidable. They know they can beat it, but I think they need to do something like right now. The Lakers are obvious, so I can't disagree with that, but the Sixers right now, they made a push this year to win everything, and I don't think they saw Brooklyn putting that team together the way it came, by adding James Harden and then adding Blake Griffin. You know what I mean? So
Milwaukee got better too, Frank.
Yeah, I'm not saying they
got better.
Yeah, but Milwaukee did, when it's tit for tat of what's happening right now, the Sixers went into the season thinking, okay, the Nets have, with those two guys, but then adding James Harden and then adding Blake Griffin kind of forced them to, oh, wow, and we thought we were making a run at this year. Anyway, the show's over. Got to get ready to roll out of here. Talent, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Hey, every day, Monday through Friday on the show, The Box Seats, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we put it down with Fig and Frank Holder, Stacks with the Facts, and my man Rodney Perry. But if you're on Instagram, this is a good week to check me out on Instagram, Talent the Comedian. I'll let you boy.
Yeah, Fig.
Right there at Comedian Fig, all social media platforms, baby. But Monday through Friday, bam, on The Box Seats, Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m., baby. This is the best damn sports show on TV. You heard me?
Okay, y'all, that's the show. Fig just told you the name of the show. The channel's called The Box Seats. The channel's called Humor Mill. I guess I'm tired today, y'all. I guess I'm tired today. You know what time it is. You know how to find us. We'll be back same time tomorrow. You know what? We have definitely some guests coming up this week. That's Talent. That's Fig. I'm Frank. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace.